Alright, so this is gonna be a mock interview. After the Abhilash episode, people said, oh, you should watch the actual mock interview. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So this is just me reacting to how they conduct these mock interviews, and it's gonna be a very educational and learning experience, I feel like. So let's go and check it out.
Can you differentiate between the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan?
Do you think GST as a tax in our country has been a successful step?
मेरा दिमाग इतना fuck कर दिया AIB ने और TVF ने. I only see parodies now. Even in real things. मुझे लग रहा था अभी joke आने वाला है कोई. Because oh my god, bro, this is.
May I come in, sir?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Uma.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Uma.
They
Then
are so formal with their demeanor, with their body language, with their tone. Everything is so formal, man. It takes practice. It takes a lot of discipline.
गंदे गंदे इशारे कर रहा है मेरे को. Sir, my name is Uma Harati. I'm a native of Nalgonda district in Telangana. I've done my BTech in civil engineering from IIT Hyderabad. I graduated in 2017. My interests include practicing yoga and cooking. This is my third attempt at the civil services examination and my very first interview.
So, Uma, you have done civil engineering from IIT.
Yes, sir.
IIT Hyderabad.
Yes, sir.
IIT Hyderabad is a newer IIT.
Yes, sir. It is a newer IIT.
So, when we talk about these newer IITs, the established IITs believe that these IITs are piggy riding the kind of goodwill they created. They worked for decades to create a brand, and now new IITs are mushrooming and they are piggy riding.
Bro, I
the
swear to
very
God.
same.
I'm so stupid, bro. I thought he said dickheads, and I was like, why did he just say dickheads? He said decades, like मतलब दहाइयों से. Bro, मैं इतना confused था. I was like, wait, what? Why did you say that?
Hard work which these bigger IITs put in. Agree?
No, sir. To me, education in IIT is about quality coursework and great campus experience. If we are able to provide that to a large number of students by creating more IITs, we
It has
should go
nothing to
ahead.
do with the brand equity. Then why don't we call it NITs? We can have as many NITs as possible. Why are we calling these IITs?
There's some brand equity there. He's got a point. If you run a university, you want to be known as an IIT university in India, right?
There is also value for the brand IIT. So the problem comes is when we cannot provide infrastructure for the newer IITs on par with the older IITs. So even as we focus on creating newer IITs, we could also try to upgrade the status of some existing universities into IITs so that infrastructural problems would be reduced.
If all engineering colleges gonna become IITs, then no IITs will be left. If every a bottle of wine is champagne, then there is no champagne.
Sir, if every college in India becomes an IIT, then it's a very good thing, I believe, sir.
Anyways, you have taken civil engineering, right? And you also.
Wait, I want to talk about this. Like, what do you mean if every bottle of wine is a champagne, then there's no champagne? I would say then there's only champagne. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to do the light versus dark. If there's no light, then there's no dark. Because everything is dark. So there's no concept of light and dark. But then there is. Because everything is dark. As a matter of fact, saying there's no champagne I don't think that's right, is it?
Also taken geography.
Yes, sir.
Both includes the concept of surveying, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how a civil engineering survey is.
But then again, थोड़ी देर पहले मुझे लगा था उसने dickheads बोला when he said decades. So what the fuck do I know? I'm just here to see कि मैं कितना dumb हूँ और दुनिया में कितने smart लोग बैठे हैं. ये देखना आया हूँ मैं सिर्फ seriously.
Is different from a cartographic survey.
Sorry, sir. My knowledge in this area is little less at the moment.
You did surveying in your great IIT or not?
Yes, sir. I did.
Tell
but
me how long is the chain?
How long is it?
Chain. You did the chaining, right?
Yes, sir. I have.
Yes.
But sorry, sir. I'm unable to recollect the length.
You have seen the chain or not?
Yes, sir. I have.
And
ये
you
mock
didn't
interview है.
notice how long it is.
I must have noticed back then.
How
sir, I'm
apart are their
unable to-
rings?
No, sir, I am
You
unable
cannot
to
discuss
recall.
surveying.
Here are some more questions about something you just mentioned you do not know about. Ye mock interview, bro. He's roasting her, man. He's literally asking the questions about something that she just said कि मुझे नहीं पता इस बारे में. बहुत पहले मैंने देखा था, मुश्किल से थोड़ा सा देखा था शायद, मुझे नहीं पता. चेन में गैप कितना है? एक लिंक कितना दूर है? तो come on, bro. Brutal.
Discuss surveying here?
No, sir, I cannot.
Good. So I believe, can I go back to that question that IITs are diluting the brand IIT? New IITs? Or
Yes,
it's
sir.
just you, the victim, not the IIT?
If I have to say, it would just be B, because it's been a while since I graduated, and I think I have to go up and brush up on my
No
concepts.
problem. You're coming from Telangana, and you mentioned also, I saw an interesting thing that you mentioned that you like cooking. Whenever a women candidate say I like cooking, it's like a prisoner saying that I like being shackled. Why didn't you think of something new? Every woman is cooking. Get off.
Yes, sir, I agree that for most women in India, cooking is a responsibility that they cannot escape from. But in my case, it's been an area of pure interest.
How pure was this interest? Tell me why you are saying that you are different from all.
He's gonna dig into her psyche and he's gonna prove her wrong in her own mind in a mock interview, bro. Let it go, bro.
50% population of this country.
Yes, sir. Sir, growing up, I always loved food, and then, as my mother would say, I loved it a little too much. So this is what got me curious towards cooking, and I started cooking at a very young age. And my parents encouraged me because I was interested in it, not from the point of view that I should be learning cooking.
Now, you've also mentioned that you are into different Indian cuisines. If you go by the frying oil, say in north and in the south, how is it different, and what is the chemistry and the cookery behind South Indian cuisine being different from the North Indian in terms of cooking oil?
Sir, if
Bro, why would anyone know this? I don't know this. Why does she know this? This is just such a rigged test, man. ये सब है, पढ़ लो. अगर तुम कंप्यूटर हो तो तुम्हें सब याद हो जाएगा, नहीं हो तो तुम्हें सब याद नहीं होगा. Oh my god, bro.
we look at the cooking oils in South India, we primarily use peanut oil and coconut oil in the extreme south. When in the northern India, I have noticed a usage of mustard oil. And that aside, I think these days usage of refined oil is prevalent across the country.
But you just give me the facts. What is the cooking science behind it? How will it affect the food of North India, making it different from the South Indian food?
Sir, in terms of the oil, sir,
Yes. Is it the same frying in the coconut oil and frying in the mustard oil, or there's a difference?
sir, there would be a difference in taste, but frying in refined oil would be different from frying in unrefined oil. Generally, deep frying in unrefined oils is not suggested because the unrefined oil disintegrates at such high temperatures, and cooking in deep frying in refined oils is considered not so unhealthy.
Anyways, thank you. So,
She's a student of geography, right? Your area of interest is totally related to geography. That is what exploration.
He chose to look like that, huh? Like you choose करके ऐसा नहीं किसी ने ऐसा करके makeup करके भेजा इनको. He chose to look like that. He knew there was a taping today. He got up in the morning, got everything ready, best suit he could find, best tie, and then he was like, "बाकी सब ठीक लग रहा है. Let's go."
Why and how of Indian cooking, right? And the cooking. Starting with what? Sarva Pindi, the very famous Telangana dish. Every day almost we enjoy. It's also called Guinea Appa.
Thank you for letting
Right.
me know, sir.
So my question is, what when you the constituent material, most important material of Guinea Appa or Sarva Pendi is what? Rice powder. You are a student of geography. We have two type of rice. One is called dry rice and second is called wet rice. Out of this, which rice is being used to prepare Sarva Pendi?
Okay, sir.
Our breakfast, what actually? Dish. Almost every day. Yes.
Sir, could I make an
Our
educated
breakfast
guess
would
on this?
actually
Yes, you
dish
can
almost every day.
easily you can make a guess. I have used what intentionally use what rice powder. I can use rice flour, but I have used what rice powder, only giving indication. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, I think it is dry variety of rice.
Yes. In your area, there is no question of cultivation of wet rice. That is drought prone area. And only by what look dry rice you can get the best what powder. But I am a non-vegetarian, so my introduction must be extended to what Goli China Ana Masam. Goli China Masam, we use what mutton, right? And that is supplied locally by goats. There are a variety of goats in India. What particular variety of goat available in Telangana, Nalgonda district, right? And other districts too, which are used purposely for Goli China mamas.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the name of the goat variety.
I don't know. The tallest, one of the tallest goat you will see that is in what Telangana,
Oh,
right?
okay, sir.
And that's very hard. And because of this, we take much more time for what actually frying what Goli Chana in Telugu is what?
Frying.
Fry. But another very important question, considering what
Is it important?
Sarvapendi and Goli Chana Masam, what is the crop pattern of Telangana state in particular? Pendi or what Guinea Appa, we serve with pickles, we serve with chana dal, right? That is chicken peas. So what are the actually crop pattern in Telangana?
Sir, currently, if we look at the cropping pattern of
Why does
Telangana,
she know
it consists of rice and some other.
You give the number. You are a student of geography. You discuss look crop pattern with crop combination. Which is number one? That should not be rice at least. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, it should not be.
Her being a student of geography has nothing to do with this, bro. Come on, not much. It may be a little bit, sure, but not much. She's not a food scientist.
At the moment, rice has a very significant share in
Yes.
Telangana.
Good.
Besides, there's also different types of millets that are grown, which are
What
more.
type of millets? You must name the millet.
Sir, we have ragi, we have jowar, we have bajra.
Yes.
We also, yes, sir. We also have.
My next question is what? This is because Telangana is what drought prone area, and that is because of geographically it lies in the rain shadow belt of Western Ghat and Eastern Ghats.
I see what he's doing. He's
And
actually very
to
good.
some extent, the continentality is very important. Suppose you are what actually a DM of Nagga Reddy, actually Nalgonda, right? Mahbub Nagar. Better to consider Mahbub Nagar district. How you use look actually dryland farming technology which we have imported from Israel to increase the production productivity with diversification of agriculture in Mahbub Nagar district.
Sir, if we want to improve the agriculture of Mahbub Nagar using the dryland farming techniques, then we would have to start with the cropping, the choice of crops itself.
Good.
So currently, again, there is large reliance on rice. It could be replaced or at least diversified with use of millets, which are today having good
One point,
prices.
second point. This is what actually crop management. Next point. How you do water management?
Yes, sir. Secondly, the focus should be on micro irrigation techniques, increasing the
One of the
coverage
micro
of.
irrigation latest technology imported from Brazil is what bisel irrigation. You know bisel irrigation? Laser guided. Third, how you do soil management?
Sir, because it's a semi-arid region, in order to prevent moisture loss, we could go for mulching and other techniques on the surface of the soil.
How you do what land management? Because the area is not totally plain, that is undulating. So how you do
He is
what
so
land
good, bro.
management?
He is so good.
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to answer that.
Leveling. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
He is so good. This is what you're supposed to do in a mock interview. He doesn't care कि मैं सवाल क्या पूछ रहा हूँ वो जवाब क्या देगी. He does not care. His goal here is to show her how it's going to go down and how she can do better. I think he's the only one who's actually showing her how to do it. अगर ये literally अपने actual interview में अगर इसको यही सवाल आता है and she just repeats everything he just said to her with the confidence he said it, interviewers are going to be slain. समझ रहे हैं? So I think he just literally helped her the most, I feel like. He's very smart, very intelligent person. And the way he explained how to handle the questions is so fucking important. So, bahut ala, bro. I'm very impressed by him. His intentions are in the right place.
Uma, can you differentiate between the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan?
That is a very interesting question.
Sir, could I make an educated
Yes.
guess, sir? Sir, the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan would be a republic, in the sense the head of the state would be directly or indirectly elected by the people.
So the ousted regime was Islamic Republic.
Yes, sir. On the other hand, the new regime, which would not have any such provision for election of the head of the
Taliban
state.
calls itself the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Now, Taliban is trying to impose Sharia in Afghanistan. So, Taliban is now in power in Afghanistan. So, is there anything per se wrong with Taliban implementing Sharia or saying that women should not work or work under Islamic laws only. So is there anything wrong? Like, it's their country, they are free to decide how they want to run it.
What a complicated
The
question,
rule
bro.
that they want to establish is undemocratic, as well as they're
But
violating
undemocratic by what standards?
Yeah,
Whose standards?
if all the people
their
agree
own
with it.
standards when we compare it with the earlier regime.
That was very bad. Like, it is Taliban 2.0.
Yes, sir.
They are supposed to be more reformed, more benevolent.
Sir, if they turn out to be that, it's a good thing, sir. But so far, we know that they say one thing and do another thing on the ground, and they have clearly said that women can have rights, but within the framework of Sharia law. And we also know that they have a very rigid and extremist interpretation of the law.
Right. And what are
Very
India's
good.
options if we consider Afghanistan? India has not been dealing with or engaging with Taliban. So India is now no more than a spectator.
Sir, true, the current situation presents a very difficult position for India, but India does have multiple options. One is to continue to back the erstwhile regime, but that
Which
may
has
not be
folded
the
up
best.
like a pack of cards.
Yes, sir. So that would not be in our interest. And second is that we could perhaps support the national forces, Afghan national forces, go a step ahead and support them militarily. But again, this would have this would make us a target and make
That's
us
a very
directly
extreme
involved
step.
in the position, in the situation. And thirdly, I think more feasible is to open communication with the Taliban and extract security guarantees, perhaps in return for us recognizing them or future developmental assistance.
Okay.
Good.
Which are the members of Troika Plus as far as Afghanistan is concerned?
Sir, I believe it's Russia, Pakistan, and United States of America.
Okay, only these three. Then it should be Troika, not Troika Plus. Fine. You come from Telangana.
I don't even know what that is.
And in Telangana, there was a famous encounter or infamous encounter, as how you see it. There was widespread public support for it because the police had killed criminals who were accused of a very heinous crime. So, do you think it is right for the police to maybe take law into their hands and finish off hardened criminals rather than letting them go through the process of justice, which is long delayed at times,
It's a
and
very weird
they
question,
can also
man.
go away scot-free?
Sir, the incident was unfortunate.
I'm actually very excited to hear her answer. अभी तक इसके answers बड़े balanced और level-headed रहे. So I'm very impressed by her also. Let's see what she has to say about this, because this is a complicated question. मैं खुद भी conflicted हूँ इस बारे में कि should they be allowed that? But then I'm like, it could be you, it could be your next to kin, you know, who got misunderstood and then got shot. So I don't think that should be a thing. If we can implement it across the board, like सबके साथ apply कर सकते हो, तो फिर shooting someone should not be an option for police or someone else.
Unfortunate, and the public outcry against it was justified. But police action through shootouts is unjustified. First, as you have already mentioned, it is equal to taking law into the hands, which is illegal. And secondly, it does not address the root cause of the problem.
But there was widespread public support.
Yes, sir. So the public support could be interpreted as a cry for quick and certain justice, and that is what we should
But
be
don't you
working
think
at.
that is what democracy is all about? Public support.
Sir, but democracy is also about following the rule of law and upholding human rights in every condition.
Right. My final question to you.
Great
You
answer.
have geography as optional, and you are also interested in cooking.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, like, whether vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food. But if somebody is interested in eating fishes, as a student of geography, where would you go fishing? Which part
What?
of the world, and why?
Sir, to begin with, I would say
That
the
is a
tropical.
vague ass question, bro. कितना vague सवाल है. That's like saying if they like chicken, which part of the world would you go get a chicken? I mean, I understand he's trying to say कि where will you find the highest quality fish for the guests that you love so much. उनको सबसे अच्छी quality खिलाने के लिए आप कहाँ जाओगे? But it's such a vague, could have like specified कि, you know, within the Indian Ocean region, where will you fish for the best fish? And for what? What are you fishing for? ये भी बोलना चाहिए. Such a vague question, bro. Let's see how she handles it. I'm upset about the question.
Areas, because the tropical areas have a very high
I'm looking for
diversity of
something
fishes.
related to ocean currents.
The coast of United States of America, which is the northeastern coast of United States of America.
Thank you, Uma.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, bhai.
So, Uma,
Mask off.
you have done
Fucking
civil
mask
engineering,
off.
Yes.
and I could see that you have published a paper on plastic fines on shear strength of sands. Can you enlighten me what does this shear strength means?
Sir, shear strength is the resistance to a shear stress. By what do we mean by shear stress? It's the resistance to force acting along the cross section of the plane rather than perpendicular. It's along the
I'm a
cross
person who
section.
is not technical. I won't understand anything. I'm a layman. Explain it now.
If we take a paper and if we try to tear it along the cross section, if we tear it, that is the shear failure, sir. Another real life example is the landslide. When we see a landslide happen, it's the shear failure of the soil. It slides and fails along the cross section.
Means
Okay.
any material in this world will have certain amount of shear strength.
Not all materials, sir.
Just name me one material
Water
that
does not
won't
have shear
have
strength.
shear stress.
Water does not
Water
have
does
shear.
not have. Okay. Have you read the newspaper in relation to your
Pani
area
Ruta.
for last 1 week or two?
In the area of civil engineering, sir?
No, in the relation to your state, Telangana.
Yes, I have read, sir.
Okay, you have read it. So, can you tell me, there has been outcry on one point that the additional judges number that has been increased by the union government from 24 to 42. Now, the Bar Association of Telangana is demanding that the judges should be appointed only from Telangana region. How justified this demand is?
I would not say it is completely justified, but the objective here is to balance multiple interests. One is the representation of the people of Telangana within the judiciary. Second is the employment avenues and the promotional avenues for the
Okay.
judges.
Then how far it was justified to have the Chief Justice of Telangana as Hima Kohli, who belonged from Delhi?
Sir, it is justified, sir. What I meant to say was, it is not completely justified to expect everybody to be from
Okay,
Telangana.
wouldn't it be affecting the quality of judiciary in Telangana? Don't you think that talent should be brought in rather than putting regional aspirations or people's aspiration or local representation more?
Sir, definitely talent should be given its place, and the objective should be to balance both merit as well as the demand of local people.
Okay. So Uma, my last question. So you are into police services, okay? As you are holding a position which your father is holding now, ASP, and a woman comes to you.
Most kids are
She
like
is
that,
victim
yeah.
of domestic
Legacy
violence.
aate hain.
You love cooking, and she is victim of domestic violence because she says to her husband that she cannot cook, and she can cook. Cooking is her hobby, but she does not want to cook. What would be the suggestion that you would give to her as a woman? And secondly, what steps would you take as a officer of police services?
Sir, to begin with, I would put my interest in cooking aside when dealing with the case. I would make sure that it does not impact the situation. And
Good
secondly, I would try to have the couple speak and discuss the issue, and I will let them know the legal proceedings that would follow if we were to go to the legal route. So if they decide to resume normalcy, I would let it go. But if the situation continues, I'll take the actions according to the law.
Okay, thank you.
But I wanted to know what those actions are, but okay.
GST, is it an indirect tax or a direct tax?
Indirect tax, ma'am.
Okay. There is this controversy, and it is generally said that North Indian states are piggybacking, or South Indian states pay for North Indian states, and South Indian states are being taken for a ride in the new tax.
South has always been paying for the North, man. That's been the history, that Karachi pays for Punjab, and this is how it goes.
What is your opinion on that?
Sorry, ma'am, I have not thought about it in that direction.
Okay. Do you think GST as a tax in our country has been a successful step?
Yes, ma'am, I would consider it as a success because it has
Government job ke liye to
replaced
high
the
bolna padega.
earlier regime, which had problems such as cascading taxes or even the logistical burden, because the logistics had to stop at every state because there was no single unified tax for the entire country. And it also made the system more technologically savvy, which makes the tax administration easier. But at the same time, we have also seen some problems with GST, such as a continuance of ITC frauds and inability to raise revenues to pay compensation to the states. So I think we are still in the process of adapting to
The
GST.
purpose of bringing in GST was one nation, one tax. However, GST has not been able to achieve that purpose. So will it be right to say that the purpose of bringing GST has already been defeated?
Ma'am, we hoped to adapt to the system of having single tax by beginning with 4 taxes. So I would say we are in the process of getting there and we have to get
So
there.
are you a person who believes that something is better than nothing, whether it's good enough,
Sure, why
perfect
not?
or not, but something is better than nothing?
Why
Are you
not?
that kind
Yeah.
of person?
Yes, ma'am, I am to some extent,
Yeah, you don't have to
but
be a
I believe
perfectionist.
in slowly learning from our mistakes and correcting and moving ahead.
But
Good.
life is very short and limited. So if everyone starts doing that, how will we achieve what we need to achieve as a civilization, as a country?
Exactly
Ma'am,
that way. If everyone
I
starts doing
agree
it.
to that as well, but I think there is joy in learning as well and learning from our mistakes and going ahead.
Okay, I see that you have taught vernacular languages to people. Uma, what do you prefer? Online mode of learning or offline mode of learning?
Ma'am, I prefer a mix of both because offline learning has its own utility. So, for instance, talking with the peers, discussing with the teacher, I think that is how quality education happens
It
and
does,
that is
it
how
really
knowledge
does.
is generated. But online medium has its own utility. For example, targeted courses to help children who are lagging behind and to make the classroom more interesting by showing videos. So I think there is scope for both offline
Sure.
as well as online.
Uma, I know you've been asked enough about cooking, but I'm just very curious to know why and how of chole bhature. Could you please tell me that?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
In when we are making chole in chole bhature, generally I've seen people add a bit of baking soda into the mixture. I always wondered why. It's because it helps break down the chole faster. So it's an efficient way of cooking rather than cooking it for longer and wasting the fuel. And the color of chole, it's dark brown color. It actually comes from using a tea bag in the chole. Tea bag is acidic, so it neutralizes the baking soda, which is basic in nature. So
Impressive. Thank you, Uma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Felt like a
So,
answer from a
Uma,
book.
Sir.
Uma, tell me, when we talk about the gender studies, there's a term which very often mentioned. It is called gaslighting. What is it, and how gaslighting is related to gender equity or gender studies?
Sir, I've heard of the word gaslighting, but I'm unable to recall what exactly it means.
Okay. If you look at other words, for example, eve teasing, harassment, or sexual assault, gaslighting we just mentioned. Can you just differentiate these terms?
Yes.
Stalking, you can add, please.
Sir, if we begin by stalking, it is making the other person uncomfortable by staring at them. So even though there is no direct physical contact, it still makes the other person uncomfortable mentally as well as physically sometimes. And we also have eve teasing, which generally occurs on the roads and in colleges in the name of ragging. So it is making fun of girls and trying to portray them as subordinate or inferior in nature or the weaker sex, etc. And higher up comes the sexual assault, which is the violating the modesty of the women in a physical manner. So yes, so these are all forms of gender discrimination, I would say, but varying degrees.
So, looking at the scenario in general, usually whenever we see at any problem, there is a rural-urban divide. Do you believe that there is a rural-urban divide when it comes to problems of women, especially these
For
kind of
sure.
problems?
For sure.
Yes, sir, there is certainly a divide in the rural and urban areas. The problems faced by women in the urban areas could be slightly different from the problems faced by women in the
Slightly.
rural areas. In urban areas, we have more number of women working in the public spaces. So they could be facing sexual harassment at workplace. In a very organized setting, they could be facing it. On the other hand, in rural areas, it's an informal workforce. They could be facing sexual harassment, but in a very informal settings. So, and coming to the solutions of these problems, urban women have a greater opportunity because the law and order and administration is better in the urban areas compared to the rural areas.
Recently, there was this news, in fact, in today's newspaper itself, that the Supreme Court has directed that the NDA should start accepting the women. Prime Minister also announced that the Sainik schools will start accepting women. So there will be co-education both at NDA
Was it not the
and
case
at
already?
Sainik schools. Tell me if it is implemented properly. Tell me why the men folks are really concerned about this NDA entry, though they were okay with the OTA entry, Officers Training Academy entry.
Sir, frankly, I was surprised to know that there was an exam where women could not take part in, and immediately the judgment was a relief to me. I assume it's because of the nature of the work in the defense forces.
No, but then the nature of the work going to be the same even if they come through OTA or the CDS. But why the NDA is so important for men folks to protect? If I can use that word, protect.
Sorry, sir, I'm unaware of it.
It
I will
probably means that one day, 30 years down the line, we can have a women chief of the army staff. 30 years, 35 years, not too soon. So, do you believe that it's going to be really important to have women at the helm of the affairs when it comes to armed forces, or it was okay being nurses and doctors?
Sir, I think anybody who's qualified should be given a chance to go to the top of any service, including the armed forces. And
like, what do men have over women? Literally, एक चीज है जिस पे हम वाकई में claim कर सकते हैं, वो है strength. Usually, men have more strength than their women, right? Even in their life or social circles, बहुत कम होता है ऐसा कि औरत जो है वो किसी बंदे से ज़्यादा powerful हो. होता है, not saying नहीं होता है, but कम होता है. So in a position like this, you don't need brute strength. You just need to be qualified. If you're qualified, you can be a man or a woman or something else and become a chief of, army or country or whatever.
And I think it's even more important that women are represented in the armed forces because it has a very large psychological impact in the society, seeing women in armed forces, because they're generally considered physically inferior to men. And it also signifies the changing nature of the warfare itself. Today, warfare is not a hand-to-hand combat model. It's about strategy. It's about planning well in advance. So for these qualities, women, men, both are equally capable.
Fine, Uma, it was nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Feedback time. आ जाए वापस Uma Dharman.
Will you be wearing the same dress?
No, sir. I will be wearing a sari.
Sari, right. So that's better. Tell me, what's your take?
Dress matters, really?
Is it going to be your first interview?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy with your performance, or there are areas you can still improve? You still have some 15 days or so.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think I should be going over the current affairs again in a bit of depth, like the NDA, for example, and also the judges' question that sir asked me about. I was not aware of it.
See, in general, your responses to even these questions were okay, except for when you were discussing this judges' question. My advice will be take a relatively more objective view rather than appearing to be siding with the state on this issue. I mean, you should be in position to look at the top view of the things rather than just being a
really good observation,
right? So
really good observation, because it did sound like
looking at the things. Though not that it is very objectionable, but it makes sense to appear objective. Yes, Uma. Uma, you are definitely a very good candidate. Your personality is good, and you are, by and large, your awareness level is also good. So in general, you carry a good, pleasant personality, and board members will be happy having interaction with you. Your strength is that whenever you are you're given a chance to analyze things, and you take that, and you're already either served with the facts or you already have the facts. Then you do very, very good analysis, which is good. And also this delivery is confident when you're analyzing, right? So analysis is your strength. So if you get to many questions on why and how, you'll be doing good.
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily so for what questions. I mean, when the factual things are asked or when the information is sought, there you're doing good. But obviously there will always be some gap when the information questions are there. So you can revise those things. Suggestion from our side, in general, your entry is good, sitting posture is good, verbal communication is not bad, but if you raise your voice a bit, you become a little louder, your communication will improve. I mean, the effectiveness will improve. You are still audible.
Yes, sir.
But you are audible because 1 hour average really age is around 50. There it will be around 62, 60, 63, say, right? And here we are making extra effort to listen everything. They are under no such burden to do it. So make them heard, make yourself heard, right? So to do so, I think raising your voice a little will help. Other things, your hand movement in general is restricted, which is a good thing. Eye contact,
unnecessary, I think.
vocabulary. These things are in place.
It's BS.
Similarly, the way I said the voice level is the energy level, which is also in a sense an impression of the voice level itself. But overall, you can have more energetic presence for these 30 minutes. Not that you are looking tired, but you can increase the energy of the interview for a while. Baki cheezein you're doing all well. So actually very few suggestions. These are only few areas where you can work in the communication.
They're not even
thing.
that important.
Yes, revise
Maybe two of the
whatever
points.
time you have, use it to revise things, and I'm sure you'll do very good. Gender issues, since these are considered, I mean, this is one area the women candidates are at advantage. They kind of know that there'll be a certain section of their interview which will go on gender issues. So it makes sense to have more enlightened and assimilated view on the issue of gender, right? Here, right now, it appears that you have read things, but you're not putting them as your feelings, as if you're feeling about it.
Okay.
So it can be a little bit more passionate when you're talking about gender issues,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Other things in place, you'll do very, very good, right? All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow. That feedback was really good, really good. He really pointed out things that could have been improved, and she really got a lot out of that interview, man. I gotta say, these mock interviews are golden, man. If you are actually a candidate, जितना आपको सिखाएंगे उतना शायद आप पढ़ के भी नहीं सीखोगे और किसी और से mock interview करके भी नहीं सीखोगे, because these people actually did these interviews, so they know how it goes. मेरी तरफ से एक अगर advice होगी उस लड़की को तो वही होगी कि you can fix 3 of your problems by just doing one thing, which is ooze more confidence. That's all. Just fake it. High energy, high voice level, body language, कमांडिंग बॉडी लैंग्वेज जो होनी चाहिए, वो सब आ जाएगा जस्ट कॉन्फिडेंस के रेस करने से. तो कोई लाइफ में आपका ऐसा हो जो आपका कॉन्फिडेंस रेस करे, आपको समझाए, सिखाए, बोले कि देखो तुम बोलो, ये जो तुम बोलना चाह रही हो बोलो, खुल के बोलो, दोबारा बोलो, करके बोलो, गला साफ करके बोलो, पेट से बोलो, इस तरह बोलते हैं ना. सो दैट्स व्हाट शी नीड्स टू हैव अ लिटिल बिट मोर कॉन्फिडेंस इन what people might think when they look at her, and she's gonna nail it, bro. She's gonna do a great job. I think she's ranked number 3 or something, Uma Harathi, and rank 3. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that was a very good interview. That was a very, very good interview. Like, she's not just a random candidate that I picked. She's probably one of the good ones. Like, jitne baki hain, unse kahin behtar hogi hai shayad. Because she was spot on with the things, man. Her knowledge base was good, and he pointed out so fairly, so correctly that she's really good at analysis. Analysis bahut अच्छा करती है, but she needs to work on the what's of it. And I think confidence will help with that. Just a raise in confidence. Good stuff. मजा आ गया. And if you guys enjoyed this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Like नहीं किया तो मैं नाराज हो जाऊंगा आप लोगों से.